I got a 2 on Jalen Farmer, Brian, the guard from Kentucky.
Okay.
You might have a 3 on him, but you might have a 4. What you got on him, Brian?
I do have a 4 on him though, and I'll let you have the floor on that one then.
Brian, let me ask you a question, man. Why do you think Basantis, the guard from Texas A&M, is ranked so much higher than Jalen Farmer?
I don't have either one of them particularly high. I have Basantis, and we had this discussion between myself, Zach Wolchuk, and Gavin Dawson driving over to the stadium. They liked him, like second round liked him. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that high on this particular player. I think I had him in the 3rd round. I mean, okay, 3rd round is significant, but people are talking about him as a high 2nd, maybe a 1st or what. I mean, not me. I always say this. I'll die on that hill. I have a problem with both these players' movement, and I really have a problem with the movement with the Kentucky player. I think he is a powerful guy. I think that you can watch him. You can watch him against Georgia. You can watch him against Florida. You can watch him against Auburn. And you could see a guy when it's solo blocks, combo blocks, those kinds of things. You could absolutely see the power in this guy. And you could also see it if people try and run over the top of him. He's going to sit down on you. So I just think that his movement skills, if you're asking him to do things as far as some of the pulling stuff, I think he was slow. I think he's slow out of his stance, to be honest with you. I just feel like, to me, when you start to talk about like having to set, and when he can get his hands on you, he's fine. But the stuff that he has to do when they ask him to pull, to trap, I think he could be a step late on that. So I was kind of in that mode of like, man, I see a big square. It reminded me very much. Remember Will Hernandez, and he went in the 2nd round from UTEP to the Giants. Reminded me very much. Will Hernandez was a 330-pound guy. Okay, this guy's 312 pounds. He doesn't move like a 312-pound guy. He moves like a 330 guy. And I thought there were some questions about him getting to the edge. I thought there were some questions about him getting second level. But when you start talking about playing in a phone booth, this cat could play in a phone booth. You play one-on-one, you move, you do that. Totally on board with this guy. But I think if you're asking him to do things athletically, that's where I had the struggles.
Man, Brian, sound like you describing Tyler Booker, man. What's going on?
No, Tyler Booker moves much better than this guy.
I mean, he does. But
Tyler Booker, you can watch Tyler Booker play second level football, and you could watch. And I'm not just talking about. There were some times where at Alabama, they pulled him to the edge, and it looked a little slow, a little sluggish. But this guy is slow, and then not being able to get guy out. When you're pulling and stuff. So that's where I'm at. I think Tyler Booker, to me, is a much better athlete than this guy is. I think this guy is a really strong anchor down guy, hard to move. And that's why I said that Will Hernandez, I don't know if you remember him from UTEP, and the Giants took a big, massive guy, but he was powerful. He pushed people, but he didn't ever do anything to like help himself get up on somebody. So I have this guy in the 4th, and that Basantis from Texas A&M, probably should have him in the damn 4 too. But there's people, but Zach Wolchuk, and hey, shouts out to him, as you'd like to say. You watch the Texas and the Miami game, and he doesn't look as good playing against those guys. And Zach's like, well, damn, watch him against Auburn and watch him against some others. And I'm like, well, I'm watching him against Texas and Miami, who are like, I feel like those are pretty damn good defensive lines. If a guy's not playing well again, he's like, well, why don't you watch him a third game? I'm like, oh, well, okay. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe I have a feel on this guy. Maybe if I keep watching the same play over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, I have an understanding. I'm okay with that. So listen, hey, you can tell the listeners what you think about him. I know what I think about him. And I would like, it's not, hey, let somebody else be a hero. But yeah, if you're going to play in just a power scheme, this guy could play. But if you're going to ask him to do athletic things, I just don't feel like that's his cup of tea.
Now, see, Brian, I think that's where we about to largely disagree. Unless you got some film software where you got a slow down button that you hit on accident or something like that. I don't think, just based on how you describe him, I don't think he's terribly slow footed. Unless you're describing Markel Bell.
But Bell plays so tall. Bell has a natural problem because he can't bend his knees.
I think even if he could, I think Bell is incredibly slow. I think Bell has like bad feet and he's kind of stiff and all that. What I see in Farmer is he may be a guy that's a little late off the ball, and his hat placement isn't always good, right? Like sometimes you got to get to the other shoulder when he's like doing something. But Brian, I don't think I saw a player that was terribly slow. We got graphics and shit, but I don't think he was a player that's terribly slow. Brian, I saw a guy that. And look, when we breaking down guards is different than breaking down tackles, right? Because some of these tackles gonna play guards, some of these guards gonna play center or whatever. If I'm just looking at Jalen Farmer as a guard and what's best for him, which would be some power system, like some man up power system, Brian, I don't see him as a guy that's horribly footed. He may not be incredibly footed. Some of these other guys, like Sam Hetch from Kansas State, he's incredibly footed. He's good footed for his size, right? But I see a guy in Farmer that can perform the blocks that you ask him to perform. Now, me and you have this little test about reaching. If he's a guard and he's reaching somebody to his outside shoulder, cool. I don't think Jalen Farmer's a guy that can reach somebody that's on the outside shoulder of the tackle or anything like that. I don't think Jalen Farmer is incredibly athletic, but I don't think that he's so unbelievably unathletic that he can't do his jobs. I think his down block steps are fine. I think his outside zone blocks versus the guys that are lined up in his gaps that he's covered by, I think it's fine. I think you're on to something about the downfield blocking. That's fair.
Well, to me, I think this guy's clearly a better run blocker. That is no question.
Sure.
Like I said, you could watch him against Georgia. Get underneath.
He's assaulting Georgia, Brian, and that's one of my biggest things here, right?
Oh no, absolutely.
Putting hands and feet on Kristen Miller that I got a 2 on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I totally agree with you on this. The thing about it is, I think to me right now, if you're going to tell me all of a sudden magically that he's not going to be laid out of his stance and he's going to be able to handle guys with some little bit better quickness and stuff like that, he's a killer when it comes to rushing him down. You're not going to move this guy. You're absolutely not going to move this guy. Yeah. I respect that about him. I'm just saying, though, there are going to be some schemes and stuff like that where if you think he's going to be a puller, trapper, and all that, he's going to be a step late. And all of a sudden, if step late means, okay, boy, the defender's now there at the point of attack and has made the tackle. I listen. My lines and my thing is a much better blocker than a pass blocker at this point. His power's impressive, but I think he's limited. I think he's limited in some of the things he does with his feet. And so if you're kind of envisioning him to be like a poor man's Tyler Booker, I think that I would say, I agree on the power aspect of things. I just don't know about the athletic aspect of the things.
Oh, Brian, I totally agree that he's a killer with deficiencies, but I can't put killers in the fours. I can't put killers in the fours. I think he moves a little better than you think, Brian. And look, what'll end up happening, because of who me and you are. Whenever we have a big disagreement, this is me letting people in behind the curtain. I'm gonna go home and watch some more, and you may watch a little bit more, and we'll like text each other on Saturday and Sunday, like, all right, yeah, I see what you're saying when you did X, Y, Z.
I just listen. I respect the players at 312 pounds. I respect how he plays with power. I really do, and you could watch him against good teams do this. I mean, he'll set, and if you rush him down the middle, then there's going to be okay. But there's some times where they get gamed, and now you're playing the game of But fairness,
sure.
Tyler Booker had some issues with the Cowboys when it initially came to playing games and stuff like that.
Yeah. As
You know,
far
and
as
I think he got better at it. But I am like I said, I've got him in the fourth. I got him a better than Campbell. The Basatis one, you know what? I'm gonna leave him in the third. Rutledge, Dunker, those guys, you know, I'm gonna keep them where they're at. But to me, you're probably right. I mean, you're probably right. He's probably going to go in the third. But it reminded me so much of watching that Will Hernandez play from UTEP that the Giants took in the second round.
Yeah,
it just was really good run blocking, but just never developed that well as a pass blocker because he had some limitations with his quickness.
a couple of more things too. And this is me disagreeing with this, by the way. I think he's a solid pass blocker too, Brad, because he has that one key. That one key.
He's strong.
He's strong as hell, Brad. Brad, he's strong as hell. So look, you ain't like, even if he's not in perfect position every time, I think that's like over aggression and stuff. But even if he's not in perfect position, he's strong as hell. And I see him stand grown Texas, Georgia dudes up, Brian. I think that.
Oh no, Auburn, Florida. Yeah, you can see it. No. You're not wrong about that. Like I said, I just want to point out the reason I docked him is because I was expecting a little bit better athlete at 312 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting a little bit better athlete there. I think some of the guys that we've talked about before, you know, are a little bit better athletes. And so to me, that's the power stuff, man. If we're just going to sit there and just run block all day, draft this guy high. You know, I just think there's some physical limitations when it comes to movement. And I worry about if he's playing against guys that might be a little bit quicker than him off the snap. And then now they get in on him and he's not able to adjust. That's what I'm worried about.
So let's do this, Brian. Big, strong, so feet. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What round do you have Vega Ione from Penn State?
Got him in the second, and I got him below our Oregon guy.
Okay, so listen, why is Vega Ione a 2 and Farmers a 4? Like why is it that much different between them?
I think that Ione, I think that he is.
I'm gonna ask you tough questions today, Brian Broaddus. Please go ahead.
No, that's not a tough question to me. That's not a tough question about the. You know, to me, when you look at him, and I'm looking at my notes right now, there's a little bit of narrow base in his play, and he could get knocked off. The thing about him is he could actually get out in space, and he could actually get. I think like one of my lines is moves fine for his size, plays with some quickness to hook and reach his man. Yeah. That's what I don't see in the other player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm kind of drawing that line, you know. Good job of the coordinating, the balance, the repositioning. He could struggle at times with some lateral movement, said that, but this is where his base could get him in a little trouble. He gets a little narrow based, but I felt like that he moved better in space than what I saw from the Kentucky player.
Brian, I ain't even gonna lie. And let me just look at it like this. Do you have Awanye? I think it's Awanye, Vega Awanye is how you say the name. I'm not finna still be learning folk name. So look,
No, I think it's Awanye is how it's pronounced.
So second round, I got Vega from Penn State up top.
Yeah.
I got Farmer right there after him.
Okay, so you have him in the second round. Okay.
I got him in the second, yeah. Jennings, Dunker after him. Those are my 2s. My 3s, Prignon from Oregon. And I got J.C. Davis from Illinois. He's the tackle from Illinois, but I got him as a guard.
Okay.
And then my 4s, Rutledge, Basantis, and J.J. Wright from, or is it Jalen Wright? Wright from wherever the hell Wright from. But yeah, I got to figure out where the hell Wright from so I can put that in there because I forgot who the hell Wright is. Is he?
He's from Auburn.
Auburn. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I got him at guard. Brian. Jeremiah Wright. That's who that is. Brian. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm high on this Farmer kid. I'm not gonna ask you to rewatch him because you got a lot of stuff to do. But when you on that plane and you can download some stuff so you can watch it offline or whatever, Brian, just go back over it in full speed. You was watching film at half speed. Just watch it back at full speed, Brian. I think you might be wrong about this one, Brian. I don't know. It could be me, but it could be you. I'm gonna go back and do some more. I've been watching a little bit sitting right here. I don't think he's slow, Brian. I don't think he's an incredible athlete. I don't think he's super good-footed, but I don't think he's slow and bad-footed. You know what I mean? But people say we don't disagree.
I just think he is. I think that when you watch him play, that there are times where he is laid off the ball.
That is true.
And I think that's going to get him in problem. He catches you right. He catches you right. He is a problem. Mm. There's a guy. I mean, the pass set, the hands. You could catch him right, but I also believe, though, to me, if you're going to be laid off the ball in the National Football League, there's going to be some problems here. So I fully understand and respect what you like in the player because he does. He has got some poor man's Tyler Booker traits. He is a strong MFer. There's no question about that. I just worry about him just getting off the ball and playing a little bit in space. That's my biggest concern is that for the player.
Yeah. Brian, this is probably one of our biggest disagreements, but that's what this thing all about. You know what I'm saying? You held your ground, I held mine, and we'll let the people.
No, I'll go back. I'll be happy to go back. Yeah. I just, like I said, when you watch Kentucky play, they got some really good opponents. Mm-hmm. There's some good opponents you can watch this guy play. Some good tape for this guy. Sure.